Hey, what's going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here. We're going to be 5-game CSGO main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking out NBA, NFL, and esports daily fantasy sports slates. Esports including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and this one, Counter-Strike CSGO. So with that out of the way, let's jump into it. Before we get into the players and their prices, what we can do is we can look back my lineup here from Friday. So this was my main lineup for Friday. Put Yuri in the captain. Really liked him at that price. Him and Caserado were underpriced. They ended up winning in 2-0 fashion against Team Liquid pretty easily. So if that game could have gone to 3 maps, man, you could have seen an enormous game from Yuri. Caserado's really solid. And then Fallen and Fur, they took down Team Envy. They were also pretty solid as well. The one letdown really was Rops, right? Because Mouse Esports got 2-0'd. Man, what can you do? If Mouse Esports would have won that one, you most likely would have seen a big game from Rops. Rosen was still pretty solid in a 2-0 defeat, putting up 63 fancy points. But the Rops really held me back in tournaments. I was so close to the money line too. So a little bit tilted there for sure. On the FaZe side, if you went that direction, I brought up Cold Zera being my favorite play. He went off there at pretty low ownership. So if you guys went that FaZe direction and played Cold, you were probably in really, really good shape. Now, for the late slate. So I did a little analysis again on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it is important to do so. It's in the description below. I looked over the ownership, and the ownership was pretty high on the MIBR guys, right? Caserado, Yuri, or not MIBR, the Furia, sorry. The Furia guys. The Team Liquid guys in the main lineups were like, in the main slate lineups, were like 10% owned. So I recommend, I brought up on Twitter that these guys are going to be low owned. If you want to take shots in tournaments, you can go for it. I also said that we had Yuri and Henny were very similar price, almost the same price. And Henny was like, in one tournament, I had Yuri 5% owned. Henny was like 35%. So he's like 6-7x the ownership. And I brought that up as a pivot if you wanted to stick with your Furia stack. And again, Yuri went off there. This one he was 13% owned, but another tournament he was 5%. Also, we had someone on the early slate take down a GPP. Made a comment on my YouTube video yesterday, or like a couple hours ago on my YouTube video yesterday, that he used my early only advice, made a lineup, didn't know anything about CSGO, and actually took down a tournament. So that's good. A lot of viewers are making some good money here. Again, for the main lineup, I was just short here because those Mouse Esports guys kind of held me back, getting 2-0'd. In one of my late slate lineups, so I made 2 late lineups actually. One, I kind of went with a liquid stack that obviously did not pay off at all, so that was completely done. This one was kind of my best lineup, I guess, not really worrying about ownership. So I put Dazzle there as value in the captain spot. He was actually really good. Bad News Bears 2-0 them, paired him with Dapper. He used Fallen and Fur, and then Caserado and Yuri. So this one in late slate cashed. Again, my liquid stack and the other late slate lineup was a complete mess because liquid just got crushed. So all in all, it's going to be a losing day for me. Again, I'm a little bit tilted here just because I was so close to the money in tournaments. I really should start entering cash games because I feel like almost every single day I'm like almost like just on the edge, just missing. So yeah, that basically wraps it up for the look back on Friday's lineup, or Friday's slate. Let's talk about Saturday's slate. So there's early slate, not going to be breaking that one down. Let's talk about the main slate here. 5 games. Astralis versus Heretics. Astralis are the biggest favorites of the day at -800. Fnatic and Team Vitality. Fnatic are -230 favorites. NIP, Ninjas in Pajamas versus Complexity. Ninjas in Pajamas, -195 favorites. We have Cloud9, 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are -215 favorites. And GenG versus EG. EG -230 favorites. So we will start with Vitality versus Fnatic. Vitality's look pretty good here. I know they are underdogs, but you're getting these guys at a decent discount. Zywoo at 9K. Some of the guys, I think there's guys in the 10K range. Let's see, hold on. Yes, he's the 4th most expensive player. I mean, he does have a lot of upside here for Vitality, and if they're going to pull off this win, I mean, we know the upsides here with Zyra, right? 94 and 84 fantasy points in 2 of the last 4 games. This is obviously a tough matchup, but I like him at this price, and if you want to go this direction for Vitality, I don't mind that at all. I think he's going to be a low-owned option. He's a little bit risky, sure, because they're underdogs, but we know he has flashed the upside here, so I think he's a more contrarian option for me. I don't know if I'd go there for like a cash game setting, but definitely someone you could look to if you want to pair, if you want to make a little Vitality stack. If I was going to pair Zywu with someone, probably would be RPK or Shox there at 5.4, 5.2K respectively. So yeah, again, you could run that little mini 2-man stack. Don't mind that at all. And usually, again, if someone asks me a question about kind of stacking and what I prefer, so on these bigger slates, like the 5 and 6 game slates, usually a 2-2-2 stack or a 2-2-1-1 stack are the way that I go. Unless, you're not going to really see a 3-3 stack or a 3-2-1 in the main usually win a tournament, unless like one of the teams is completely dominates like a 2-0 fashion. But on the smaller sites, I think it is more viable to do like a 3-3, a 3-2-1, like a 3-1-1 stack. On these bigger slates, I usually prefer like a 2-2, 2-2-1-1, something like that. Now let's look at the Fnatic side here. So Fnatic are favorites here. Not huge favorites, minus 230. Brolin is a guy who's been on fire recently, but you're going to have to pay a premium for him. So he's definitely up there with those guys that at the top range, right? If you can get to those guys at the top, I think Brolin has huge upside. If Fnatic wins this one, we probably see a pretty decent day from him. It's all about which way do you want to go in this game? Do you want to completely avoid it? Do you want to go on a lower owned Vitality stack, or do you want to get like 1 or 2 pieces here for Fnatic? Brolin's a guy that obviously has a lot of upside, but that price is ticking up. He was in the 7-8K range. Now he's 9.6K. Flusha versus Crims. So normally I'm just going to prefer whoever's cheaper of those two, so I'll give the edge to Crims here at 8.2K. I think he's also a pretty solid play in the mid-tier. Does have a little bit of upside, had 144 there against Mouse Esports, so we know the ceiling is there in him, and you're getting him a little bit of discount off Brolin. So I think if you're going to ask me who's my favorite play in Fnatic, I think it would be Crims for his price, or JW, 6.8K, pretty cheap price tag. He's their ADP'er. He's had 70 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 games, 76, 71, and 70 fantasy points, and he's under 7K. So I think my 2 favorite plays here on Fnatic for the prices would be Crims, would be JW. Next game here, Complexity versus Ninjas in Pajamas. So Complexity are slight dogs here at plus 140. Config's price has been all over the place. In one of the slates, 2 slates ago, he was like not in the 9K range, and then he dropped all the way down to like the 6K range. Yeah, he was 9.8 to 6.8. Now he's 8K. So now I think he's priced about right. I think he probably has the most upside out of anyone on this Complexity roster. Him, Poison, or Blame F. But just looking at the salaries, I think I would prefer Blame F at 6.2K. He's been pretty solid. I don't know if he has as much upside, but if we're just looking at the fantasy points per game, right? Config at 48.5, Blame F at 47.3, and you're getting him about 2K discount. So sure, Config maybe has a little bit more upside, maybe a little bit more boom or bust, but Blame F, if you want to get a one-off here on Complexity, I think he's a solid, cheap option. On the other side here, Ninjas in Pajamas. So I think Plopsy being my favorite play here at 7.4K. I like this a good amount. He's a guy that, sure, maybe doesn't have the 80, 90 fantasy point upside, but in a win, he could definitely put up 70 or 80 fantasy points, right? So I do like him a good amount. 7.4K seems pretty cheap. Don't mind anyone really on this roster. It's a pretty balanced roster, and it kind of shows their price tags, right? 7.6, 7.4, 6.6, 6.6, 6.4. So I think my 2 most favorite plays on the Ninjas in Pajamas side would probably be Plopsky and Lurko. All of this game is no one's really expensive, right? The highest priced player in this game is 8K. So if this, you could realistically get a pretty upside lineup here if you get on the right side of things, right? If you guess Complexity or Ninjas in Pajamas, whoever comes up victorious. If you guess right, and then you get your spend ups right, you're in amazing shape. So this is a game I think does have some upside, and there are a lot of underpriced guys in my opinion. Next game here, we have Heretics versus Team Astralis. So I think these Heretics guys are going to be pretty low on because they're such big dogs. They have flashed a lot of upside and have put up some good numbers against decent teams. NS Complexity, but then fell short there against Fnatic. I think these guys are still in play as contrarian options just because, again, this upside they have flashed. So, guys like Maka, Navara, Lucky, those would be the guys I would look to if you want to go for like a low-owned Heretic stack and hope for the upset. Again, we've seen a lot of upsets here this week, so anything is possible. And again, we know the upside is here with these guys. So those are guys for tournaments I'm definitely looking at as more contrarian options. On the Astralis side, so you have Device at the top at 9.4K. My kind of issue with these Astralis guys is they're a pretty balanced team. And, do I want to pay 9.4K for Device? I think he's fine. I don't know if he's my favorite spend up. I think I would prefer some cheaper options on this team. Guys maybe like Zipex again. He's under 8K, 7.8K. Or even Dupree at 7.6K. I mean, Glave is flash upside. He's 6.4K. He's had games where he's put up 60, 70 fancy points. So, I guess the downside, again, with the Astralis teams, they're pretty balanced. So normally I usually go with the cheaper options. So again, I think guys like a Zipex or Dupree, those would probably be my preferred plays on the Astralis side. Last two games here. We have EG versus GenG. Evil Geniuses are minus 230 favorites. I guess GenG. Breezy's price at 9.2K. I think he is the guy that, it's kind of annoying. Draftkings has not, for some players, or for some teams, they don't update their most recent games. Really annoying. So obviously Breezy and Evil Geniuses has played a couple times here in the last week. His price has dropped a little bit since last slate. I believe he was almost in the 10K range. He's 9.2K. He's the guy that has the most upside. I think he's certainly in play as a spend up. Definitely someone I'm considering. And then you have Cirque, Ethan, Stanislaw, Tarek. I think Cirque would be my next favorite play there at 7.4K. Now in the previous slate, I think he was like the 9K range, where like guys like Ethan, Tariq were like a couple $1,000s cheaper. That's why I liked Ethan and Tariq in that other slate. In this one, they're a little bit more similarly priced, so I think I'm going to prefer Cirque here, who I just think has more upside. So and then for value, I don't even mind like a guy like Tariq at 5.8K. Sure, doesn't have maybe huge upside, but he's under 6K, and I think he's certainly somebody you could look to for value if you want to go more of a Stars and Scrubs build. So Cirque, Breezy, Tarek, those are probably the guys I would look to here on the EG side. On the GenG side, so this is a team that certainly has upside. They are underdogs here. Where are they? They are plus 165. But look at the price tags on these guys. Costa is the most expensive guy, 7K. Bennett, 7K as well. Automatic, 6.8K. You could realistically run a 2 or 3 man stack here. And if GenG wins this, you're going to be in amazing shape. So I think these guys, as well as C9, who we'll talk about in a second, I know they're slight underdogs, but the price tags on these guys are amazing. So I do like the GenG side a good amount for their prices. Kusta, Bennett, Automatic. Those would be the 3 I would look to. I don't know if I'll get to Som or Daps. I just like the upside a little bit more in those top 3 guys. And again, you're getting them at a pretty big discount. 7K, 7K, 6.8K. I like all 3 of those guys a good amount. So I am pretty high on the GenG side if you want to go that direction. Lastly, 100 Thieves versus C9. 100 Thieves team, kind of like Astralis, a little bit more balanced. They are slight favorites here at minus 215. So Gratisfaction is at 8K. I think he's okay in the mid-range. If you want to run a 100 Thieves stack too, I don't mind that. Okay, no one, I guess, is super expensive. Gratisfaction 8K, JKS 7.4K, Jakeem's at 6.4K. These are all guys that are certainly viable. I just think, personally, I don't know, maybe it's because C9's won me a lot of money here in CSGO. I might go the opposite direction. But I don't know. I think I like the price tags slightly better on the C9 side. But if you want to go 100 Thieves side, that is completely fine, right? Their favorites and their highest price guy is only 8K, so you could realistically run a little 2-man stack here and be in decent shape. Maybe like Gratisfaction, pair him with JKS. So yeah, those two guys at the top there I think will be my preferred plays on the 100 Thieves side. Lastly, C9. So this is kind of like the GenG side. You're getting these guys at a pretty big discount. I know they're slight dogs, but we've seen the upside from these guys. Now, sure, Draftkings have not updated their statistics either, but Floppy had a really big day last game at 7.2K. I like him and OC a good amount. MOTM as well at under 6K. I really like these C9 guys. Kind of like the GenG guys. You're just getting these guys at a really big discounts. I know they're slight underdogs, but I don't think that DraftKings, I don't think they should be this cheap. So I like both those teams a good amount as underdogs. I think you could run maybe a two-man C9 stack, a two-man GenG stack, and then pay up for whoever you want for as spend up. So say we just throw in Floppy and MOTM, and we throw in Bennett and Costa. Then you have 11.5K remaining. Sure, you got to play someone in the captain, but you could probably get one of these, one or two, or one spend up and then one more like mid-range play. Don't mind that build at all. But yeah, all in all, again, if we're just going through top to bottom, my interest, Brolin for Fnatic, I think is a solid play here at the top. He's flashed. He's been on fire recently. I just think I prefer players on his team. A guy like Crims for less, right? Maybe a guy like JW for a lot less. I like their salaries a little bit more. Device, kind of the same thing. I think he is a good play if you get to him. I think I just like the price tags a little bit better on his teammates. Breezy's a guy that I like a good amount here at 9.2K. If you want to go that EG side, I think that's perfectly fine. Pairing him with Cirque, I think that's a good, decent option there. Zywoo, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit more constrained, but if Vitality can pull off this upset, probably going to be a big part. Zywoo's probably going to be a big part of that. Other options here, the Heretics guys, they're the biggest dogs in the slate, but they've been playing pretty well recently. I know they lost to Fnatic the last game, but we have seen some big games from these guys, Maka, Navarra, even Lucky. So if you want to go super contrarian and go that stack, we know the upside's there. And we've seen a lot of huge upsets recently, so it's not out of the question that you can go that direction. Again, Crims, I think I like him more than Brolin for his price. I think I like JW as well there on the Fnatic side. Config, I think he's solid at 8K. Don't know if I'm going to get to him, though. ZipX, again, I think him, Dupree, probably be my favorite plays for the prices on Astralis. Plopsy, these ninjas in pajamas guys are really cheap. I like Plopsky a good amount. JKS, right, if you want to pair him with Gratisfaction, don't mind that. And then we get to the cheaper guys, right, C9 and the GenG guys. If you want to go with C9 stack, they're really, really cheap. OC, Floppy, MOTM, the GenG side, Costa, Bennett, Automatic. I do like those guys a good amount here. And then if we're looking for really cheap value options, again, Blame F here at 6.2K. I think he's pretty solid. I think Tarek here for EG. If you want to pair him with like Breezy or pair him with Cirque, I'm perfectly fine with that. MOTM, already talked about him. I do like him a good amount as well. Lucky for a contrarian option, but again, on the Heretic side, we've seen anything can happen here for CSGO. And I don't think I get to anyone else here below that. So I think that basically does it. Again, kind of where I'm leaning right now is I like the underdogs here with C9 and GenG. I think personally that's where I'm going to go. I'm not saying you guys have to do that. I just think that's where I'm going to build my lineups. Maybe get a two-man stack from C9, a two-man stack from GenG, and then kind of go from there. There's a lot of different ways you can go, right? And we've seen that anything can happen. We've seen bigger upsets happen, right? The biggest favorites here of the day are Astralis at -800, but we've seen FaZe go down when they're huge, huge favorites. We've seen a lot of bigger upsets than this money line is at right now. So again, if you want to go the Heretic side for a contrarian option, I think that's doable as well. But hopefully that helped you guys out. Again, for these bigger slates, I like the 2-2-2 stack or maybe like a 2-2-1-1 stack. That's probably how I'm going to approach it. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, would really appreciate if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. We are at, I think, 3,000 subscribers now, so slowly growing. I'm going to continue to grind out these esports videos for you guys. We have Call of Duty coming next week, next Friday, so I'm going to have videos up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and CSGO continue to have videos up every single day for you guys. So I hope you guys all staying safe, healthy. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you all in the next video tomorrow.